Well, I hope everyone has enjoyed their dinner and conversation. We have arrived at the portion of the program we've all been waiting for, the honorees. Our first award goes to a man who works 7 days a week at the age of 81. The founder of Hispanic Link News Service, Charlie Ericksen. Viva Charlie!
Viva Charlie!
Charlie Ericksen has been ensuring that Latino issues get national attention for decades. During the infamous 1954 U.S. government's Operation Wetback Drive, he crossed the border from Mexico with undocumented workers, labored on California Imperial Valley farms, and documented the workers' plight in an award-winning series of articles syndicated nationally. Over the next couple of decades, he wrote for 2 Los Angeles newspapers, 3 TV stations, some Latino advocacy groups, the U.S. Civil Rights Commission, and served in the first administration of California Governor Jerry Brown as Chief Deputy Director of the state's Department of Motor Vehicles. In 1980, with wife Sebastiana and his son Hector, he founded Hispanic Link News Service, the first nationally syndicated Hispanic column service in Washington, D.C., which has trained more than 300 Latinos and Latinas for careers in the profession and syndicated 5,000 columns authored by 700 plus Latina and Latino writers. Charlie continues to work with Hispanic Link as editor and publisher with his youngest son, Carlos Emilio Ericksen-Mendoza, who is the publisher of its news weekly. Let's take a look at Charlie's video profile.
I thought he was Latino for like 2 months. And when he told me he was Latino, it was like telling me there's no Santa Claus, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, because every day he wore white better to work, and, you know, he's speaking Spanish in the office, and he has his wife, who's, you know, a Mexican wife, and kids, and so.
One of the things that Charlie does is he likes to keep open communication so that all of his interns know what's going on. So whenever somebody called the office that he knew, either Linkies from the past or Linkies that I've worked with them to some capacity, he would put them on speaker and say, yeah, you know, we just got this intern from Arizona. He graduated from Arizona State. He looks a little nervous. You know, he sent a headshot. He looks like an all-American boy. And he's right in front of me now. And can we send him back? You know, I'm a little disappointed. He's shorter, he's browner, but you know, that's just the way that he likes to do things to make you feel at ease and make you feel that it's okay to have fun and poke fun at each other.
Family is really important to Charlie because I think it stems from him meeting his wife Donna in Mendoza. Back when he was a young man, and he went there after, I believe, the Korean War, and he was a reporter, and he went down to this village, this little fishing village, and he met his wife, his future wife-to-be, and they actually started to link together. They were co-founders, him and his wife, Donna.
Hispanic Link is a news service wire that gets syndicated by a few hundred Spanish and English publications across the country, mostly through Scripps Howard Newswire. And what we do is we take young journalists, and Charlie, with the help of others, helps these journalists get acquainted and acclimated with DC politics and tries to figure out how to cover the issues that are most important to Hispanics and Latinos, and how to cover stories that even to this day are ignored by mainstream media.
I've known Charlie since 1995, when I went to work for the Link for the first time. And the traits, I think, of Charlie is to be, one of the things is to be fearless. I mean, when I was here as a young reporter, and I would go to press conferences with Charlie, I mean, Charlie would ask tough questions. And he would not take no for an answer, and lots of times he was combative at times if it needed to be, you know, making sure he got the news information that was needed to tell the story. And you know, it takes a certain amount of courage, you know, to be, you know, an advocate for news and information that's telling the truth about our community.
The other day somebody said, journalists are no longer interested in covering stories that matter, they're more interested in eyeballs. How many eyeballs do I get to go to my page? How many eyeballs do I get to go to see my blog? And I think the link, and what makes the link special, and has a special place in my heart and in others, is that it teaches you, we have to call things for what they are. We have to stay fiercely independent, and we have to go after the story, even if that means, that people will disagree with that. And I think for young journalists, that's hugely important.
Charlie made me feel comfortable with being a Latino journalist, and a Latino with a capital L.
10 years ago, I wanted to be with Jorge Ramos as in Al Punto, but that was a fantasy. Then you meet Charlie Ericksen, and that's no longer a fantasy. And now I feel that, at 25, I'm one good story away. I'm a couple of years away from making sure that's a reality. And 10 years ago, you would have asked me this question. I would, you're crazy. It's a fantasy that I have that even I don't believe in it. But Charlie was that missing link that makes it so that, 5 years from now I could be in a Punto. 10 years from now maybe I could have my own show. Who knows?
There's a few people who come along in your life and really get to shape it. I feel blessed because everyone deserves mentors in life, and Charlie has been that to me, and he's been like that to a lot of people.
Charlie, to me, you mean the world. You're my mentor. You're a grandpa to me, and I love you. And you mean the world to me because you could be just as equally critical as you could be equally warm. And there is a method to your madness, and that is you want to get the best out of everybody, the best out of Linky's past, present, and future.
Charlie, I just want to let you know, congratulations on the award. Well deserved. This award and all the others you have received.
Hopefully, if I get to be 83, I could have just announcing what you have now, and that'll be more than I could ever hope for.
We all love you very much, and you're a major part of our lives, and you always have been. And congratulations.
Hello. A couple of things missing from that. One, where's Patricia Guadalupe? I think Patricia says it like it is, and for some reason they cut her out. There she is. Let's put her hand for Patricia. Patricia was one of my mentors. But first of all, I got to say that this award is going to the wrong person. The award should go to my wife, Ericksen-Mendoza. Sebastiana took me as a little gringo hippie down in Oaxaca, and she raised me and her 5 children. The amazing thing about her is she never went to school a day in her life. They didn't send girls to school in the village of La Ventosa, Oaxaca, where she grew up. The boys got 3 years of education. She got none. But she came up here and behaved with any group that just unbelievable. The other thing I'd like to point out is that they cut out the best part of Joe when it really made me feel very proud. That when they interviewed him and they cut this out, and let me see, what did Joe say? It's something that I'll never forget. He said, Charlie Ericksen, as my editor, is a pain in the ass. Joe, are you here? I think he had to go to New York today, but that's too bad. Joe was recently wrote a book with Juan Gonzalez, for those of you who follow the media, and on Hispanics in the media and blacks too. And they made the New York Times bestseller list, and for that we're really very proud to have one of our alumni produce a book that is so important to the civil rights movement and to Hispanics wherever they are. I think it probably took me about a minute of the 2 minutes I was given just walking up these stairs. So I better stop here. But thanks to my son Carlos, to all of the 700 Linkies that have written columns for us, or the 300 and some that have done at least a semester with us in learning how to cover journalism in a way that you won't find it covered in the Washington Post or any of the mainstream newspapers in the nation. Thanks so much.